Hi, my name is Andy Schmidt, and just about 5 years ago, just about 6 years ago actually, I was the first therapist hired at First Steps Wellness Center in September of 2010. And this program is like nothing I'd ever seen before. I was a recent kinesiology grad, looking for a job and going through online ads, and the next thing you know, I was reading this ad about a place that they were saying about how they would do new types of things with spinal cord injuries and really innovative therapy techniques. And I was like, oh wow, because everything I learned in university about spinal cord injuries was where your injury level is kind of final. So I drove up, and it's nothing like the facility they have today. We were in a little 1,000 square foot facility, and I kind of thought to myself, what am I getting myself into? So I had a job interview with Owen and the founder, Chris Senko. And the next thing you know, the interview was awesome, and just the way they talked about futuristic, where their vision and their goals were. I actually really wanted to be a part of it. And since I drove quite a few hours away, Owen said, well, you know, I'm sure you didn't drive all the way up here just for an interview. Do you want to see what a session looks like with Chris? And I was like, heck yeah, I do. And Chris Senko, the founder, is C4 complete quadriplegic. And so my understanding was Chris should be able to do this. And what I saw that day was actually quite different. And I was like, how is he doing this stuff? And I was sitting there, I remember Owen would ask me to help him, and I would be puzzled. And it really helped me to see what happens when you don't say that, you don't label a person as a C4 complete. And you say, you know, this is Chris, he's had a spinal cord injury, and he's working to recover function. So why I think First Steps is unique is they don't take past definitions of spinal cord injuries and apply it to today. What they do is they're trying to look towards the future. And there's a similar program in Saskatchewan, a cardiac rehabilitation program. And about 25 years ago, they were considered crazy for wanting to take recent heart attack and recent cardiac episode patients and rehabilitate them through exercise. And everyone then said they were crazy. And now you fast forward to today, and it's a mandatory program for people who have had heart attacks to enroll in these programs. And I kept thinking to myself, what happens if First Steps is just 20 years away from being mandatory in a province or in a country? Because just the way that they treat people with spinal cord injury is just totally innovative, totally different, and it's a newer way of thinking rather than an old model way of thinking. So we've had, since my time, and we had clients from across Canada, coast to coast. We had somebody from the East Coast, we had somebody from the West, somebody from the Yukon, we had somebody from Jamaica, we had Northern U.S. interest, and even clients from there come and attend. We had people driving from rural Saskatchewan 4+ hours to come to a 2-hour therapy session. And to me that just shows the need, and I'll tell you what, they wouldn't come to the facility if it didn't make a difference in their life. They really wouldn't. And we've had one young girl at First Steps that has been coming since I first started working, so almost 6 years, and she drives over 2 hours 3 times a week for this type of therapy. And the progress she's made has been absolutely unbelievable. Is she walking yet? No, she's not. But the changes in her life have been so phenomenal that you would have to be in her shoes to understand the differences. She went from needing help to staying seated to being able to stay seated by herself when her mom helps dress her in the morning. Or she was in a completely reliant on a power wheelchair. And recently she's been wheeling a manual wheelchair, which is mind-blowing. We've seen clients that would come here and make amazing progress but have a real difficult time emotionally because they would literally have no friends here. Their friends were the clients and the staff here at First Steps. Possibly one of the most interesting parts at First Steps is when I was taking classes at the university, we were taught that you're not to have a personal relationship with your clients because it could jeopardize, and in the rehabilitation world, they didn't want you kind of maintaining contact, being Facebook friends, texting each other, going out for supper, going to a movie or anything like that. And we took the mindset of, if someone's going to move here from across the country or from another country, we're going to get to know them. We're going to show them that we love them, that we care about them, that we're interested in more than just a therapy. We're interested in them getting whole and them getting healthy. And I can't tell you the times I've had with people just going out to a movie with someone, going to one of their wheelchair sports games, participating in wheelchair rugby with them, and we at First Steps here like to think that that's as important as a therapy itself. The therapy is dynamic and the therapy is quite innovative. However, if we just saw them for the time they were in here and didn't care about them outside of their 1 or 2 hour window of their therapy, I think we would really be doing them a disservice, and I think it would be really shallow on our part just to see them for 2 hours, say, see ya, I don't care about you till the next time you come in. And I think it actually just speaks to the level of care, the level of compassion, and how much the staff at First Steps are committed to seeing someone get healthy, to seeing someone rehabilitate, to see someone regain independence, regain function, and improve their quality of life. And over the course of my time at First Steps, I had the absolute joy to be able to lead the fieldwork program. So up to today's date, they've had almost 20 fieldwork students come through the U of R, be taught the methods, be taught the ways. And the interesting part is, it's not for everyone to come and work at a place like this. It's you gotta be creative. You gotta be lively. If you just want to sit down and have a job, I would say that working at a center like First Steps Wellness Center is not for you. But if you want to have a career where you can create things, where you can, it's almost like problem solving with the human body is kind of one of the ways I like to say it. And it really is such a rewarding and fulfilling job. I've seen quadriplegics take steps. I've seen people with flaccid muscles be able to pedal a spin bike. Like, that kind of stuff is it's unbelievable. And I would say one of the areas that I found the most unique is seeing the drive and the desire that the clients at First Steps had. Actually really helped me personally to be able to realize that sometimes in life all you need is a little perspective. And Chris Lisenko, the founder, is a good friend of mine, and just for a while after working with him for a number of years, I remember asking him about why he's always in such a good mood. And he had a bad accident. Maybe we could say he was dealt a bad set of cards, but the drive and determination that Chris had actually really helped me through a tough time in my life when my parents almost died in an accident. And it helped me to realize that instead of looking at what I didn't have out of their accident, I looked at what I did have. And I would say that was a direct result of working at this place. So that you become great friends with clients, you get to know them on a personal level, as well in terms of career-wise and knowledge-wise and research and science and all that kind of jazz. I would say that this is on the cutting edge. This is something that is so new. There's the research coming out about spinal cord injuries and exercise rehabilitating neurons, and the neuromuscular system is unbelievable. And you really get to kind of put the rubber to the road. You get to test out what the theories are saying. You get to see that it is possible for nerves to grow, to reinnervate muscles. We would have literally seen that the word isn't always the best, or isn't always the most liked word, but I guess you could say we've literally seen miracles by science, because these clients will work so hard to prove that they can do something that people said they could never do, and they're doing it. And that's the crazy part. It's not just one, it's been a large percentage, up in the 90s, of clients that have regained function at First Steps Wellness Center. If you have a spinal cord injury of some type and you're thinking about coming to a center like this, I would say no amount of YouTube videos, no amount of reading can replace just coming. I would say in 1 week we had developed just kind of like a time for people to come and check it out for a week. I would say in 1 week of sessions at First Steps, you would see the total difference. You would work with people who have thousands of hours working with those who have spinal cord injuries. You're not going to a Gold Gym or a Good Life Fitness where, yeah, people might know about exercise, but they have no clue about your injury. And that's the difference that the First Step staff offers, is they have loads of experience with people who have had all sorts of injuries, all sorts of levels of spinal cord injuries, paraplegic, quadriplegic, and you'll never find anything like it. But unfortunately, this is one of those things where you have to see it to see the effects of it. You have to, the saying, right? You have to see it to believe it. And I would say, we could wait around and hope that something comes along, or we could be proactive about it and just go out and try it. And I think that's what you should do. So for anyone who's supporting Noriko, just for the sake, I think it communicates to the people who would benefit from a facility like this. I think it communicates that that you care about them and you want to see them improve, because if you didn't, you could just, go ahead, go across the country, go there. But if you bring it here, that's what Chris did. Chris Lysenko, the founder of First Steps, used to have to fly to the U.S. to go to a place. And he so knew the difference it made in his life. He's like, I want to bring this back to my home where people around me can also benefit. And I would say in Quebec, this is really important, because there's nothing like it anywhere near Quebec. And if you really want to provide the service and the best thing for the people that you would love to see get healthy and well, I think you have no other choice but to try to make something like this happen.